Hello and welcome back to Football Manager once again. As you would have seen in the last video if you watched it, we didn't have the best of ends to our Champions League campaign. But, to be fair, Manchester United, we weren't guaranteed to win that match. Just to make it to the final was immense on its own rights. We do obviously have a double. We have the Carabao and FA Cup this season. We finished 4th in the Premiership. We had a good season. So let's do our little review of the season in terms of this. So we've got inductions to the Millwall overall best 11. We've got Jovanovski, Neto, Eduardo and Plizzari all making it in the best 11, which is, well, not best 11 but the best 17 I think it is. So Jovanovski has actually now picked up 105 appearances for the club, which I think is very impressive, I think. So in goal we have Pablo Turgeman, our old Argentine wonder kid goalkeeper. At right back we have Marlon Romeo, a player that's not played for some time for this club. Axel Tuanzebe and Eduardo in centre back, with Matthew Clark weirdly on the left of the defence, despite never being played there by myself. In the midfield we have Tommy Doyle and old stalwart Ben Thompson. Ahead of them we have Jovanovski, Lopez and Glazen, surprisingly. And in front of him we have Louis Barry. Whilst on the bench we have Alessandro Plizzari, Alex Pearce, Jake Cooper, Iban Neto, Conor Mahoney, Aidan O'Brien and Tom Bradshaw. Surprising one there for me is actually Jake Cooper. Didn't expect him to be an overall best 11 for a Millwall side. He only really played 2 years for in the game, at least still to be there anyway. So obviously you know all this stuff. Bartosz Białkowski. Wait, what? There's no Bartosz Białkowski on that list. Either way, so Białkowski, Alex Pearce and O'Brien all I think retired now, I think. Yeah, they've all retired now. So they're no longer playing football. 5 of the players that I didn't actually see on the list are still with the club, obviously. We've got Turgeman at Paris Saint-Germain, Glazen at Aston Villa, Cooper at Olympiacos. We've got Ben Thompson at Queen's Park Rangers, Romeo for Sunderland, surprisingly, and Matthew Clark and Conor Mahoney both playing at Rotherham. Whilst Jed Wallace plays for Portsmouth, Shane Ferguson is actually a chief scout for Newport County, and Tom Bradshaw is at AO Platanius. If it wasn't for Lelujo, the YouTuber who was the inspiration for me to actually do my own series, I would not know who these Greek teams are, obviously, except for Olympiacos, of course. I know who they are, but AO Platanes in the Super League 2. It's probably not 2 if it's Greek, is it, you idiot? What's 2 in Greek? I don't know. But he's doing a series with Apollon Smyrnis, and if I'm honest with you, I'm loving it. I've loved the series from day one, really. And to see what he's done with the club that isn't that big in terms of Greek football, but have now pushed them to, top of the table in Greece, staying there permanently at this point in time, and as permanent fixtures in the Champions League knockout stages almost every season now. It's a brilliant thing to watch, I have to admit. I've loved the series from day one, as I said. But anyway, we move on with our season review, and not a glowing review of a YouTuber I have quite a fondness for. Right, I mean fondness for his videos, not for him. That to me just sounds weird. Doyle, Fans Player of the Year, I won't argue with that. He was an incredible player this season, deserved it. 64% of the vote, 14% going to Eduardo, and then 13% for Yola, very close between second and third. We've got goal of the season from Nenad Jovanovski in the Real Madrid fixture, and if I think this is the goal I think it is, I completely agree. This was one hell of a goal if it's the one I think it is. Because if this one I think it is, he's right outside the box and thunders it into the top corner without real problem, really. That is obviously if it's the goal I think of. If it's not, then it's another goal that is even better. Kelvin heads onto Jovanovski, who gets the ball round the defender, runs it straight to the edge of their box. Okay, it's a different goal, but still fairly good. I think that was probably the group stage game we played them and lost 4-3. Oh no, drew 4-all. Yeah, if it wasn't for those 2 late goals from Nesterov and Jovanovski, we would not have drawn that game. Mateus signing the season for £40 million. Yeah, I'd say that. That's fair, actually. Yeah, that's fair. Kelvin apparently gets on as a right back, not Erdogan. We've got Eduardo Yola, not Tuanzebe in the centre of defence, with Augusto and not Sahajic on the left. Seng is making it onto the left of the attacking midfield, and surprisingly not Nesterov. And Thomas surprisingly gets into the centre of midfield ahead of Iban Nato. Obviously, Jovnovski Lopez, they're guaranteed to start in this team of the season. But Louis Barry is another surprise. I thought Mateus might have got in there, seeing as Mateus was signing of the season. Statistics-wise, Louis Barry, top goal scorer, 23 goals. Not bad, of course. We want to get somewhere around 30 goals from him, obviously, next season. Doyle with most assists and highest average rating, with 19 assists and a 7.25. Titron Thomas with the best pass completion, surprisingly, at 88%. That only goes to goalkeepers in my playthroughs. Lopez managed to get most player of the matches with 7. Very impressive from him. Most yellow cards, unfortunately, Kelvin and Mario Augusto. And Mario Augusto is the king of the Naughty Boys Club, with a red card also to his name. As a proper season review, we've got, it was a memorable season for Millwall. We managed to win the FA Cup and League Cup, obviously. We were expected to qualify just for the Europa League, but managed to actually exceed that by getting Champions League football. And yeah, we have done very, very well. We only managed to get up as high as 3rd place. We now got into the top 2, of course, but that's not a problem to me. We had effectively a full attendance for the entire season. We only used 23 players, which arguably is very surprising for me. I thought I'd use more than that, but hey ho. As you can see, we lost the final of the Champions League to Manchester United. We finished 4th in the Premiership. We won the FA Cup. We did lose to Barcelona in the Europa Super Cup, and we won the Carabao Cup. And you can see with the league position down here, the first game of the season we lost 2-0 to Bristol City. Then we picked up well. That was obviously the loss to Liverpool. Then we went on the unbeaten streak all the way through until about here when we started to lose games again. And that was when we just dropped back down to 4th place, and that's where we finished. Millside 2019, I don't think anyone really cares about this, mainly because in 2019 I was managing in Boston, not in London. So this is the current view taken by the board of directors. Apparently John Berylson is still... okay. Surprising, but if you say so. We have to reach the first knockout round. That's easily done. I can do that. We've got to qualify for the Europa League. Can easily do that. I would like to negotiate one thing. I don't want direct football to be played. It's the only thing I want out. Just want this out. Okay, good. I don't want to play direct football because it's just not how I like to play in this game. Squad dynamics, nothing really important to show here. End of season team meeting. Arguably, I'm just going to passionately say that where's the one that says with a few additions? Okay, there isn't one that actually says a few additions. So let's just say I want you positive frame of mind for next season, because we're going to qualify for the Champions League again. Season injury report, yeah, broken ankle for Mauricio Santa Cruz. Thankfully he wasn't here for most of it, so that's fine. Well, for any of it, I think he was injured whilst out on loan. So, who has the most injuries to his name? Dwight Selby and Aidan Pilby, both have 7 injuries. 6 injuries befell Kelvin and Wayne Rock, and then 5 to Ronnie Goff, Jacob Adams and Jack Kelly. Whilst the longest spell out obviously was Santa Cruz, followed by Yildirim, surprisingly. But that's obviously in the past now. We have a break until the 28th of June, when I believe the World Club Cup will be starting. I'm not going to choose China. I think USA is probably the better option. Post-match analysis, we didn't play poorly, but we didn't win. That's the problem. Glebus and Louise managed to win the Golden Boot by scoring 9 goals, whilst Louis Barry finished 1 place behind him in terms of goals scored. Arguably, I think that should have been given to Kylian Mbappe. Oh, okay, less playtime, fair enough. So I think if Louis Barry had scored a goal in the final against Man United, we might have actually seen Louis Barry up in first place, but unfortunately didn't quite make it. However, he did make it into a vastly oversaturated Manchester United players' dream team. Only two players not Manchester United players there, Ortega and Louis Barry. And apparently Champions Cup award winners, we didn't win the goalkeeper of the year, we didn't win defender of the year, nor midfielder of the year, and we finished in second place for forward of the year, which I think is rather impressive given the state of the club, being that we are not a big club. I think you'd agree with that, we're not a big club. I mean, if you look at club info, we are continental reputation, but then you look at a team like Manchester United who are worldwide reputation. We were expected to lose. Oh, wrong one. So, I don't think there's anything else I actually need to mention apart on the season review. I don't believe. I'm pretty sure the board have already given out the finances for next season, the budgets and all that. So I'm not too sure what I need to look at. If I'm honest with you, I mean, we've got over £100 million in the bank. That's incredible. Given that the board are still planning for the expansion, they could put a few more £1 million into it and expand the stadium even further, or perhaps even cancel it and then build a new stadium entirely. Which, to be honest with you, I would prefer. I would prefer an entirely new den from the new den sort of thing. End of season award, I think we've already done all of this stuff that's important here. It's just the social feed and all that sort of stuff. We've unfortunately have to have a decreased transfer revenue. Oh, because of the wage budget. Are you serious? Fair enough. I have just noticed though, on the second to last one at the top there, expansion plans announced. Right. We did pass the financial fair play. We made a profit of £306 million, which is very impressive, and we made a profit of £238 million in the Premier Financial Fair Play. But we were hit with a tax bill of £22 million. That's a lot. As you can see, we doubled last season's sponsorship funds. We got a fairly large amount of corporate and hospitality funds. We doubled competition prize money. We did lose a bit on broadcast revenues, I'll admit that. And we managed to get a fairly large amount of increase on match day and commercial retail revenue, which is obviously very impressive. Jovanovski, unsurprisingly, the #1 shirt sold, clearly fan favourite. And we've got a new scouting budget. Okay. Why has it been shortened to £720,000 when I had over £1.5 million in it? Fair enough. So apparently they're expanding the stadium by 9,000 seats, well 10,000 more or less, to get to a full 30,000, and it'll be completed on the 8th of April. So until then, we're playing in West Ham, or in Easton. I don't actually know where West Ham is, because I'm pretty sure it's not actually in the West End of London, I think. But yes, it's going to be double the capacity regardless, so that's fine by me. £18 million, perfect. Especially seeing as we were supposed to be getting, I think, another 3,000 seats. We're getting 10,000, that's impressive. And Yuri Nesterov has been called up for the Ukrainian national side to play against the international opposition. Annoyingly, I am worried they might play him as a regular left mid, which might diminish his ability as an attacking left mid. And hopefully he'll reach his potential at some point with us, obviously, but he needs to become English in some way, shape, nor form. So, yeah. I am actually on his favourite personnel, which is very nice for me to see, of course. He is still technically a wonder kid. I'm not sure if I mentioned this or not, but Jovanovski, the Macedonian wonder kid who was injured before we could play him in the Champions League final, is no longer a wonder kid. He is now an elite winger. And I think that is a deserved title for a player of his calibre. But I believe, unless there's anything to come up between now and the squad announcements for the youth Italian sides, I believe that's everything you need to see before the World Club Cup starts. So yeah, I think that's it. We've just noticed I've got another £20 million in the balance. Not exactly sure where that's come from, but it's come from somewhere. I'm not going to question it. More money is more money, of course. Before I do end the video, I will see if there's anything I can actually do over here prior to ending the video. No, nothing. So the expansion of the stadium is now in progress, and it will be completed on the 8th of the 4th. Obviously we're halfway completed because obviously the first half is all planning stages. I'm going to lower my transfer budget to complete zero. I don't need to make any signings next season. Every single player I plan to sign is already about to join us. Erdogan and Kelvin both obviously leaving, although, oh no, Kelvin's still there obviously. We've got Tarek Tyler joining for £67 million. We've got Jack Barnett joining on a free. We've got Enoch Saki joining on a £2.5 million deal. Sam Watson on a £12.5 million deal. Artem Bodojoko joining on a £15 million deal. Daniel Voss joining on a free. We've got a lot of players coming in for a lot of money. But that's not that bad. Sonny McLean, we could sell his clause for £600,000. And there's also Manny Voice. Where's he? Down here, we could sell that for £1 million. No, I think I'm going to leave them both on there. Mainly because if they sell him, we'll get more money than £1 million, I think, from the deal. So, yeah, I think that's it for this video. So, the next episode you will see, obviously, will be Monday. And I believe, okay, it hasn't actually updated yet, but it will be the Club World Cup. Let me just quickly see if it will come up at all. Right, Club World Cup is to be scheduled on Friday the 18th of May. Oh, hang on, never mind. I had somehow in my brain forgotten that the World Cup happens every 4 years. So, yeah. You won't be seeing the Club World Cup this season. You will be coming back on the very first day of the Premier League season when we play whoever we're going to play. So until then, I bid thee adieu. Goodbye.